Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Day's Top 3,000 Songs of the Rock Era. This is my second video today. I fell a little bit behind a few days ago. But anyway, in this video, I'm featuring song number 2071. And that one is Words by Missing Persons. And here's a picture. Actually, I don't have a picture of the single, I guess, but it was pictured on their 1982 album called Spring Session M's, with their debut album. And had a few other minor hits on it, including one I featured at number 2680, which was Destination Unknown. But Words came out first, I think, and they both went to number 42, just missed the top 40. I think they're both good songs, particularly this one, Words. I think I'm going to start by featuring a sample of this song. I'll go back to the Google Gemini generated image. I think this is probably what a lot of their concerts look like. Anyway, here's a sample, Words by Missing Persons. Okay, that's the first verse of Words by Missing Persons. I think it's a good, catchy new wave tune. I remember when this was one of the first videos I used to watch on MTV. They used to play it a fair amount. Wasn't a big hit on the radio, but it was a pretty popular video. And I remember in particular their lead singer, Dale Bazio. He was one, I guess, depicted in the middle of this picture here. I guess you can see him in this picture as well. He had pretty wild hairdo, and she did that really high pitch falsetto high note. And I thought they were entertaining, I guess, particularly for her. I'll go back to the picture of the whole band. Here she's with, I guess, a partially red dyed hair. Kind of funny. In the song, she says, I think I'll dye my hair blue. I don't think I've ever seen a blue dyed hair, even though one of my cousins had blue dyed hair for a while. I don't know, but I mean, I guess I should talk a little bit more about the song Words. I think it's pretty self-destructive from the lyrics. She's basically complaining to her boyfriend, I think, that he doesn't listen to what she's talking about. She might as well be talking to a wall, just the words she's saying aren't registering. I was bringing in, basically communication breakdown. I think a lot of people have gone through this. I know I have a lot of people in my life, so I can relate to what she's singing about in this song. It is a problem. If you're in a romantic relationship, communication is pretty critical. So I think it's a good song in that sense. I guess that's pretty much everything I have to say about the song Words. So maybe I should say a little bit more about the group Missing Persons. Well, this is already the second song I featured, but I think I already mentioned I featured Destination Unknown at number 2680. That was another song I used to watch a lot on MTV. And another song, I don't know one other song by Missing Persons. They had a song called Walking in LA that I like a lot. I don't think I ever saw it on MTV, but it's a funny song because these guys were from Los Angeles. And what I guess they're complaining about in the song Walking in LA, they say nobody walks in LA, which is basically true. I lived in LA and lived in the LA area for about 10 years, and you really need a car to go pretty much anywhere in LA. It's probably the biggest example of urban sprawl in the United States. So I think that is a big problem with the city of LA. It's not really a pedestrian friendly city. So, yeah, so anyway. But I guess I'll just mention, who these guys were when they were around. They formed in 1980, and I believe most of them were session musicians for other groups. I think a couple of them had performed with Frank Zappa before forming Missing Persons. But Missing Persons was formed in 1980. They were originally together from 1980 to 1986, but then they reunited several times afterwards. They were together again from 2001 to 2003, and I think also briefly in 2009, and then they finally were reunited in 2011. They're still around today, although I think now they have mostly new members. Although I think their lead singer, Dale Bazio, was still their lead singer. So, anyway, that's Missing Persons, and I think that's pretty much everything I have to say about Missing Persons as well as the song Words. So, thank you for watching. Here's a little new wave thank you for you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.